So we have a customer reached out to us. He's currently upside down by about like $20,000 on his Grand Cherokee. We're good to go to roll in all that negative equity into his new deal. The final numbers here. So it is deluxe. It's got the black edition. It's got the black crossbars too. How many miles per year did you need again?
12.
And $20,000 negative equity. Final numbers, $1,283 a month, $2K total out of pocket. That's the final price on the car.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, man. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, guys, we're going to get into this negative equity. Everybody wants me to do these negative equity videos. Today, we're going to do things a little different, guys. We're going to kind of explain exactly what negative equity is and why a lot of people are starting to roll negative equity into leases. That's the way these dealerships are getting people from being underwater in their current vehicles. They are leasing them. Let's check out how much negative equity some of these people actually have. This is crazy. Let's get into it.
37 grand
wow.
of negative equity on this one. So recently I had a lady call in asking about our 2025 Bronco Raptor. She's currently driving a 2024 Chevy EV Blazer and she absolutely hates it. So of course the dealership that sells it to her tells her that she's going to save all this money in gas and she's going to, you know, not have to charge it that often, that EV Blazers hold their value very well. A fully electric vehicle in Wisconsin holds its value very well. And you know, it's gonna do great in the winter and you're not gonna have to worry about paying all this money in gas and what you're gonna be able to save, you're gonna spend on something else. So of course she buys the vehicle and she's, you know, driving and she's spending all of her days charging it now. And she drives to work and she absolutely hates the thing. So of course we're doing our best to help her. So we take a look at her vehicle and Kelley Blue Book, a very good rating, is coming back around 28 grand, while Carfax is coming back around 27, and she owes $67,000 on the vehicle. So I tell her, I'm like, look, you're rolling over 37 grand of negative equity.
So
we're talking over the phone and she tells me, oh yeah, I know I'm gonna lose some money or a lot of money on it. Just get me out of this thing. I can't stand it.
Some money.
So I'm like, okay, happy to help you. Luckily, the vehicle that she's looking at is a Bronco Raptor with 18 grand in rebates. So that's going to help us kind of eat up that negative equity. So that way, when the bank approves her, if they do, you know, that she's not rolling over, you know, in their eyes, she's not rolling over 37 grand. She's rolling over still a lot, but not as much. She fills out a credit app, sends it into our dealership, and immediately we're looking at it. Her husband are on it, and everything is on there, all of the information. And so immediately we look at it, we see the negative equity, we see what they make, we see their credit scores, and immediately we're like, this is not a car deal. There's no way we can help her. So of course we spend the entire day fighting with the bank, negotiating on her behalf, and fighting and fighting and fighting and doing our best until finally a bank comes back with an approval. So I give her a phone call and I'm like, hey, we have an approval for you. You're gonna need a couple grand of money forward. And she was thrilled. So the next morning they come in, they test drive the vehicle and they bought it. Her loan to value when it was all said and done was about 157%.
Wow,
and
that's
her car
crazy.
payment was $2,200 a month.
Oh,
she wasn't thrilled about the $2,200 a month payment, but she hated her EV Blazer and she was just happy that we got her out of it. So
that's
what do
crazy.
you guys think? Do you think she should have paid $2,200 for that Blazer? What would you have done?
That's outrageous. I'm at a loss for words. And normally, guys, it's the opposite. Because what I understand is, and when I recently went to the dealership with my daughter when she bought her car, the guy that was working with us, he just had a customer who was in the negative like $10,000, and they convinced them to they convinced them to lease a EV because the EV had something like 20-something thousand off, like rebates on the EV. So normally what they do is they roll the negative equity from a finance vehicle into the electric vehicle, and it's a lease. So this right here is the total opposite. So there's no way that lady's gonna be able to pay that car off, man. That's crazy.
Bad credit, but I have a car right now that I'm financing that is really high monthly payment, and it's not a very fuel efficient car.
Okay, what is the monthly payment at, if you don't mind me asking?
$679.
Wait a minute, hold on, guys. She's paying $679 for that old Dodge Caravan. I swear, man, people put themselves in some crazy situations.
It's just not efficient. It's too big.
Let's go out to that vehicle right now.
I will say it is a little messy.
Yeah, you did that.
I cleaned it, you know, as good as I could.
Yes, ma'am. Let me see your keys. I'll scan it in my system, take some good pictures. We got to trade in. She owes on it. I'll go get it for you.
Fresh start with the trade.
Yes.
What is the trade?
It's a 2020 Dodge Grand Caravan.
I know that
86,000 miles on it. What can you do for me?
The problem is right now, even in perfect condition, the Caravan is only booking for somewhere around $9,000-$10,000.
Ain't worth nothing.
So it's not about getting an approval as far as what the bank sees. The problem is that rolling that much negative over around $15,000 is god awful expensive, really hard to do. So we can get you out of the Caravan and into another vehicle, but it has to be something where loan to value percentage is not like crazy high. So inexpensive commuter cars, once you add the $15,000 onto it, that loan to value is like 200%, like double what the car is.
Bank ain't gonna
So it
finance
would
that.
have to be something that's like a larger SUV, something like a Pathfinder, like a Murano, or something like that. And by doing that, though, you're taking $400 or $600 in payment from negative equity on that Caravan to even be able to do it. So we have to trade the car because of the banks that we use.
Right.
By doing that, that's going to be something that's like, depending on how good the approval comes back with the negative equity on there, even with mom on there, that's going to be like $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 after you roll that much negative. And that would jump your credit up right away, and it would give you something to actually rely on.
So I'm open to it, yes. If we can do no down payment.
We'll get to working on it then.
We want to congratulate.
See, real quick, guys, I'm gonna stop it, man. See, this is how they get people. They kind of make you feel like you don't have no choice, like this is your only option to get out. I mean, I kind of get it, but it's like that's just a tough situation. $15,000. Wow. Bro.
Congratulate Miss on their brand new purchase of their 2025 Pathfinder.
He did it.
It's been a task, it's been an ordeal. They didn't think we were able to get it done, but we did. Let them know that coming to the Fresh Start program is definitely worthwhile, and let us help. We're here to help.
And see, the thing about it, man, they really don't care. I mean, of course, they got her out of that vehicle and got her into something new. But the moment she drive off the lot with that Nissan Pathfinder, the value of that thing is going to tank tremendously. So she pretty much back in the same situation, but in a worse situation financially. Yeah, she got a more reliable vehicle, but she said that the Caravan was too big. That Nissan Pathfinder about the same size. It's really not that much smaller. But again, I'm just reacting to the video, guys. I'm not judging people. Hey, people do what they need to do, but it's just amazing how this stuff works. It's just a continuous cycle. And we've all been in this situation before. I've been in situations like this. Now, I've spoke about that in some of my other videos. But it's getting ridiculous now because the price of cars are going up so much, but the value was just dropping so fast. So it's like everybody's just continuing in that cycle of negative equity.
What is the most amount of negative equity that you have seen?
41,000 on a
That's
2022
crazy.
Jeep Grand Wagoneer.
Gotcha. What is the most amount of negative equity that you have seen?
It was around $10,000 on a Honda Accord.
That's about average, right?
Did they trade out?
Yeah, they traded out of it. They had to get into a 2023 Tahoe to eat up the negative equity.
Yeah.
Did they put any money down?
And did. They had to put in like $4,000 down to get into approval.
Damn. And they still put $4,000 down.
Put $4,000 down to eat up some of the negative equity to get approved.
Gotcha. That's crazy. What is the most negative equity that you have seen?
I thought I'd seen it all before, but right now she owes 44 and the vehicle is worth about 22. As you can tell, street flips.
What car was it?
It's 2024 Ford Escape with moderate damage, so she owes a lot of money on the vehicle right now.
How much is it that she owes?
44,268, and the vehicle is worth 22.
Okay, so how much negative equity is that?
22,000.
Danny, what is the most amount of negative equity that you've seen?
I had someone who had an old Mustang that they bought from a tote the note place, and they really just screwed them over. They had a bad deal on it. And so it was a 15-year-old car that they still owed over $25,000 on. So they had about 20 grand in negative equity to try to get out of.
So it was worth like 5?
Yeah.
Damn. What is the most negative equity that you've seen?
Hold on. They owe $25,000 on a car that was worth $5,000. That stuff almost seems illegal. Like, that's just craziness. Man, bro, it's like, and the banks be approving this stuff. Like, come on, man.
Top of my head, I had a customer that was $8,000 upside down on a 2018 Silverado. That's the most I've seen personally.
$8,000 is crazy. What is the most amount of negative equity that you have seen?
I want to say the most amount of negative equity I've seen is probably about 30,000.
What car was it?
It was on a pickup truck, and they were trying to buy another pickup truck.
Gotcha.
Golly, see, especially right now, a lot of those vehicles people purchased back during the pandemic, that's what people are starting to trade in now, and it's just not worth anything. It's just not worth anything, man. It's like you almost better off just holding on to it, and something go wrong, get it fixed, because people rolling in $20,000 and $30,000 in negative equity, and they financing cars. I can see people lease them, and you know, at the end of the lease, you just turn it over and you walk away clean. Yeah, you don't have a vehicle, but you walk away from that negative equity. Then you're gonna have a high lease payment, but at least you get to walk away. And that's what we're gonna get into next, how that works.
Think of a lease like a timeline split into two sections, the usage and the residual. The first half is called usage. That's the part of the car's value that you're going to be paying for over the time that you drive the car. The second half is called residual. That's the part that you don't pay for. That's because the bank thinks that's what your car is going to be worth when you're done paying for it over the first 36 months. You're not paying for the whole car, just the part that you use. It's important to know in the usage section goes the part of the car that you're paying for, the taxes, the fees, plus any of your negative equity, minus any sort of lease cash or incentives that might be available at the time. At the end of your usage, you have a few options. You can either go into the dealership, hand them the keys, and walk away from it as long as you're good on your miles, or you can simply take your residual value, roll it over into a new loan, and keep making payments on it and keep the vehicle. It's that simple. A lease is really great if you're trying to get rid of negative equity, or if you're that type of buyer that wants a new car every couple of years. So let's face it, almost everybody has a car payment. So if you fall into that category, maybe consider leasing your next vehicle.
And that's pretty much how it works, guys. And again, like I was saying earlier in the video, what people are doing with all this negative equity, some are rolling it into a lease. That way they can walk away at the end of the 3 years and you got to pretty much start over. Then there's people who like to drive, you know, new cars every few years. And if that's you and you don't really drive too much, but even though now they're extending the mileage for leases from 15 to 20,000 miles a year, where it used to be like 5,000, 7,500. So the whole mileage restriction thing is pretty much not a big deal now, but you really have to pay attention to what you're doing, what you sign up for with a lease, because if you go over the mileage, that stuff can add up. I've been getting a lot of questions about this, man, because you're starting to see this advertised on TV because they're trying to get rid of these EVs. And people are just pulling up, you know, left and right, trying to get out of these vehicles with all this negative equity by buying these electric vehicles. But you got to be ready for an electric car. Do you have the place to charge it? Some of these electric cars come with free charging, and that's cool. I know the Tesla comes with a lot of incentives. If this video helped you out, hit that like button, subscribe. You subscribe right now. Hit the like button. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.